I was very symptomatic. A lot of numbness, a lot of loss of function, like in my arms and my legs. Then by September of 2017, I was starting to have, I already had the diabetic neuropathy, which didn't help. But I started having pain, and then I started having pain in my lower back, and so I had, well, I'm sure you know what it is, an EMG where they put the needles in you, and well, it wasn't a lumbar puncture, it was an electromyogram. So it's testing for function. It's testing for neuromuscular function. And so all my neuromuscular function in my legs and in my arms all delayed. It's all MS, right? And of course they did the MRI of my head and saw some demyelization of the myelin, the myelin sheath. So that's what MS is, right? So and then I started having pain in my back, which I've never had pain in my back. So they did an EMG on my back, and they said, oh, yeah, you have conduction problems in your fifth lumbar. So by September, I was really symptomatic. I was having trouble walking, trouble functioning, now in even more pain. And it was really distressing, as you well can imagine. And so they said, well, here are 18 medications. So I was on massive amounts of gabapentin, massive amounts of, I had baclofen, I had gabapentin, and then I had all my diabetic meds, and then I had all kinds of meds. I had 18 meds altogether between the diabetes and the MS, the high blood pressure, the high cholesterol. I had 18, 20 meds, and I wasn't getting any better. So I feel your pain. Anyway, so on September 8th, my friend Linda Burr, who lives up here in Big Bear Lake, where we live, looked at me one day, and this was early in September, and said, I went into kidney failure. So so now I have MS, I have diabetes, and now my kidneys are failing. Well, I'm a nurse. And so they said to me, well, we're gonna have to start exploring, dialysis options. Well, I'm a nurse. I know what that's like. So I said, under no circumstances am I going to go on dialysis. And I have 5 adult children. I called them all up, and I said, I'm not going on dialysis. I'm sorry. I'm in kidney failure, but I'm not going to go on dialysis. So it's just a matter of time. So really, basically, I was starting to die, honestly. And my MS was just out of control. I was on 3,600 milligrams of gabapentin a day. That's the highest dose you can be for gabapentin. And pardon me? Gabapentin, it's Neurontin. It's also called Neurontin. Yeah, it's for MS. Yeah, the gabapentin is for MS. You're kidding. Really? Sure. It's G like George, A, B like boy, A, P like Peter, E, N like Nancy, T like Thomas, I, N like Nancy. Gabapentin. Now that's the generic name. The trade name is Neurontin, which is Nurotin, Neurontin. So with MS, you've never had gabapentin? Oh my gosh, it's a neuromuscular drug. No, and I also was put on some steroids, where you put on steroids. Yeah. Well, not only that, it destroys your immune system. So, so steroids, and then you get Cushing's. It's a nightmare, honestly. I know. So, anyway, by the time Linda saw me, we were actually at the farmer's market together. She looked at me and she said, "You're gray." I mean, I was gray. and I said, well, this is what's going on with me, and I told her and everything, and she said, we need to talk. So I went to her house, and she introduced me to NeoLife. So at the time, I've always been used to being a nurse, making a fairly good living, and now all of a sudden I'm on disability, and financially, it's crushing me, honestly. And, I had to make a lot of changes because I was not in the same financial situation, getting divorced, on my own. And it was very tough times back then, and well, it still is actually. But so anyway, I said, well, okay, I've got to pray about this and see what, because I couldn't afford it. So I said, well, okay. So then I prayed about it. I came to the decision. I said, you know what? I'm not going to pay my cable bill. I'm not going to pay my internet bill, and I'm not going to pay my phone bill. And I'm going to buy NeoLife. That's what I did. So, so I did. Oh, excuse me. Hold on.
When you go to head to the gym at around 3:30,
yeah.
Can you bring my bag with you so
What
I don't
bag?
have to board with it?
What bag is
the
it?
Sebastian one. I'll put it by the door.
Okay, put it by your door.
I'll
Okay, no problem. So, sorry about that. My daughter's heading out the door. So anyway, pardon me? Oh, yeah, she's 24. My daughter's 24. She's, because we live in Big Bear, she's a snowboarder, so she's heading out to go snowboarding. So, yeah, it's really, yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, it's fun. It's nice to be young. So anyway, so I decided not to pay those bills, exactly those bills, and I bought $240 worth of NeoLife. So I bought the shakes. I bought basically the core nutrition, and at the time I bought the weight loss pack, and I also went on CalMag, calcium, magnesium D3. So, yeah, that's what I went. So I was on the shakes, Pro Vitality, and calcium, magnesium D3. So that's what I went on. And so the first week, pardon me? The detox, yes. So I did that for about a month. I added actually glucose balance by week 2, because by week 1 I was off all my diabetic meds, because my sugars for the first time were completely stable. So then I went on glucose balance to maintain that good glucose balance, and I never took another diabetic med again. But the first week I was off all my diabetic meds. What I noticed with the CalMag, is that all of a sudden, well, the first thing that happened is my neuropathy disappeared. No longer had any of that diabetic neuropathy, which is extremely painful. And I also started losing weight, which I could never, ever do. So, and as a matter of fact, yesterday, they announced I was one of their 90-day challenge winners. I actually won the 90-day challenge. And so, well, because by week 12, I had lost 35 pounds. That's like crazy. Okay. And then by week, by week 8, I had lost 35 pounds. By week 12, I had lost 55 pounds. Now it's like week 18 or 19, and I have lost, like almost 65 pounds. But what I noticed that now I take 3 CalMags in the morning and 3 CalMags at night. And what I noticed is that all my MS symptoms literally disappeared. So I no longer have any symptoms of MS at all. I have no numbness. I have no pain. The lumbar pain is gone. The pain in my legs are gone. The pain in my arms are gone. All the numbness is gone. You know, I used to get such horrible numbness. There are times where I couldn't hardly even walk. And now I'm running. And I truly believe that with the core nutrition, which is the shakes and the Pro Vitality, and then, you know, starting off with pretty high doses of that Cal Mag, it really is. I mean, within, I think, week 6, by week 6, I have to tell you, by week 6, I was off every single one of those 18 medications. By week 6, and the only thing I ever did really different, because when I was diagnosed with MS in December, I did a lot of research, of course, like we all do. But I noticed that some of the newest research done, some of the stuff that I was actually reading, was telling me that I read one article saying that they strongly believed that there was a protein, amino acid in meat, like red meat and pork and stuff, that was an MS. They thought it was an MS trigger, and that if you were diagnosed with MS, you need to become a vegetarian. Which I don't know if you've read that or not. Yeah. Well, I became a vegetarian, and I'm still a vegetarian. So I do not eat meat at all, and I don't know if it helps or not, but I am a vegetarian, and I do not, and I especially don't eat any red meat, because they said that was the culprit, was the red meat. But every once in a while, I have a son who lives in Alaska, and so every once in a while, he actually sends me, he catches salmon, you know, by his house, basically. And he catches salmon in the Chitna River, well, actually in the Copper River that's in Chitna, Alaska, and he sends it to me. But I know that's like really pristine salmon, you know what I'm saying? So, so I will eat that occasionally because I know the source. But other than that, I don't eat meat. Yeah, I don't eat meat at all. So now today, you know, I go to the gym every single day, which I was never able to do. I go to the gym 5 days a week, and I lift weights. And then I also started running, which I know that the weight loss helped a lot with that, you know, with the running and stuff. But because I couldn't run before, but that's because I was terribly overweight, you know. Can't run when you're 220 pounds. Now I weigh like 150, you know. So I've lost a lot of weight. Oh, thank you. So yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if it was a combination of becoming a vegetarian and going on NeoLife, but all my symptoms are gone. I have no more symptoms of MS, and I'm clinically no longer diabetic. But as far as the MS is concerned, you know, I just don't suffer from it anymore. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've read it a little bit. A little bit about gluten. It's just generally not good for you. What I did read was that the meat had an amino acid that actually triggered and exacerbated MS. So that's the only real. I eat eggs. I was a vegan for about 2 months, but I almost lost my mind. So yeah, no. Yeah, well, and then plus, you know, I take the shake. Now I'm down, you know, I take 1 shake a day, 1 Pro Vitality, I take one Phyto Defense, I take Glucose Balance, I take Cal Mag, and I really think that calcium, magnesium, and D3 really went a long, long way in helping the MS. And then, I'm also on Tray. I'm on Tray twice a day. I take 2 ounces in the morning, and 2 ounces at night. I'm also on, with my shake, I put in 2 ounces of Tray, and then with my shake, I also put in organic tart cherry juice. Yeah. So, well, for men, it's really good for men because men are at high risk for gout. And so the tart cherry juice is really good for your urinary tract system. And it's got a lot of antioxidants in it. It's just good, full of nutrients. But yeah, tart cherry juice. I get it at Vaughn's. Where do you live? You live up in Oregon? No. Oh, okay. Yeah, you live in Oregon. Yes. So any organics, Trader Joe's has it. Vaughn's, Safeway. Yeah, Whole Foods. They all have that organic tart cherry juice. So I put 2 ounces of that in my shake. So, and I do because it's just I like the taste first of all, and then second of all, it's just a good, urinary tract, urinary tract it's just good for that system, and then also for men, it really goes a long way in preventing gout, because gout is a collection of uric acid in the joints, which is very painful. So. Yeah, so it's just kind of like a roto-rooter for your blood and your urine. So I take that, and the Phyto Defense. Oh, and I take 2 garlics in the morning. 2 garlic alliums in the morning. I'm trying to think of what else do I take. Glucose Balance, Cal Mag. Oh, and I also take 4 vitamin E's a day. 2 in the morning, 2 at night. And I go to the gym 5 days a week, and I lift weights. I lift weights. So I went through some of the stuff that I've researched on the computer as well. Of course, weight bearing. Bye, sweetie. I do a lot of bearing weight, which for is not so easy with people with MS to do that, but I do. I actually suffer through it, and I had hired, which was tough because once again financially, it was very tough. But I actually hired a personal trainer to teach me how to do the weightlifting correctly. So, because I didn't know anything about it. I knew nothing about it. So, never lifted weights in my life, and I didn't really know how to do it correctly. So, for 9 weeks, something like that, I hired a personal trainer, and he taught me how to lift weights correctly, so I wouldn't hurt myself, and I was doing it correctly. It's on your bed? Okay. Sorry. My daughter's... You will. Oh, my gosh, my daughter. Oh, these kids. Anyway, so, so I did that, and I couldn't really afford it either, but, at some point you have to, fish or cut bait. You know what I mean? Like, it's your life, okay? Okay, so, and then I eat only organic food. You will never find a piece of commercial bread in my mouth, ever. I just will not eat non-organic stuff. I just won't do it because of the systemic pesticides that are in fruits, vegetables, and other commercial products. So, and that's very expensive. So it's kind of, the struggle is real. But I have no more MS I have no more MS symptoms. I don't know. I think that I was finally getting the nutrition that everybody has to have, including myself, and that my body basically was getting cellular nutrition again, especially the grain oils. You know what the grain oils do? Yes? The Tran, yes, the grain oils. So the grain oils, because there's that membrane. Okay, so there's a cell membrane, and it's a transport membrane, and I've actually looked at that membrane online and read extensively about that membrane, and it's a transport membrane, and it lets nutrients in and waste out. So without the sterol and the 2 lipids in Tran or ancient grain bread, you don't get it, because it has been taken out of our diet in America completely. So unless you're taking the Tran or you're eating ancient grains, which is like spelt and quinoa and all that other stuff, you're not getting the sterol and the 2 lipids you need for cellular viability. So I think because I started getting all this nutrition, because the standard American diet has no nutrition in it that we were all on, because I was now starting to get real nutrition and an abundance of it, I honestly think my body healed itself. I truly believe that. So, but, yeah, I just believe that. Now, I haven't had MS for 20 years. I was diagnosed of December of 2016. It is now, a year and a month later. Yeah. Well, you know what's great for Crohn's is the probiotic from NeoLife. My daughter, I have another daughter, I have 5 children. They're all adults, thank you, Jesus. But I have a 27-year-old daughter. She just graduated nursing school from Loma Linda down here. And she has had chronic, very painful GI problems. And I finally got her. And I had to pay for it because she's in nursing school. She can't afford it. I finally got her to actually take the shakes and then and the probiotic, and it has resolved all her GI issues. Yeah, the whole thing. So I just put my brother has a son, and he has the same issues, and that's run in our family, but he has the same issues, and I just recently put him on the shake and the probiotic. Now, I did not put, well, I tried to put my daughter on the Pro Vitality, and it just upset her stomach too much. So I told my brother, what? She did, and it still upset her stomach. So, yeah, so I think she needs to detox. Now, I detoxed a month later. At week 5, I went through the 3-day detox. And that is a great thing to do, especially if you've had a chronic disease for quite a long time. Yeah, no, do that 3-day detox. It's really good, and it's just I think all of it has been very beneficial for me, all of it, and over time, less and less symptoms. But I don't know what kind of exercise. I mean, you're saying you can hardly even walk at this point. And it's a problem. It's a slippery slope, because the less you can do, the less you will do, and the less you will do is the less you can do. So, yeah. 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 No, I know. I think you have to bite the bullet. I understand. I mean, I wasn't paying bills because I couldn't afford it. You know what I mean? But that was my choice. That was my choice. I'm like, I'm either going to do this or I'm not. And I was so horrified that they're talking about They're talking about putting me on dialysis. They're talking about I'm ending up in a wheelchair. I mean, honestly, I was like, I will sell my soul to avoid this. You know what I mean? That's the point where I was at. So, yeah. So I just was like, nope, I don't care. I'm not. I'm doing this, and I don't. And then my car broke down, which is just devastating, especially up here. This is Southern California. You don't have a car, you're screwed. So my car broke down. No, you are. You're screwed if you don't have a car here. Well, guess what? Let's see. I don't know how many weeks. October, November. 3 months later, I still don't have a car. Yeah, it's still broken down. I can't fix it. I literally don't. I take the bus. Yeah, I take the bus or I walk. There are times where I have people calling me up saying, wow, they have weight issues or MS issues or diabetic issues, or like this week one of my close friends was diagnosed with a brain cancer, very, very, very poor prognosis. She only has a 2% chance of living. She's young. She's 40. She has 5 children, and some of them are very, 10 years old. I mean, it's just heartbreaking. I walked to her house with my NeoLife samples. Literally walked to her house. So it's tough, because the buses up here stop at 7 p.m. Sometimes I don't get out of work until after, 8. So then I got to figure out how am I going to get home. I live all the way on the east end of Big Bear, and I work all the way in the middle of town. So it's 6, 7, 8 miles for me to walk home. So, and then the other day it was like 14 degrees, and I was like, oh, Yeah, at least it's good exercise, and I praise God that I can walk, because before that wasn't happening, So, it's, well, I'm walking. I am thrilled. You're right. I'm not thrilled about walking in 14-degree weather. And I do wish I had a car, don't get me wrong. But there are blessings in there all over the place. So, I believe, and my kidneys are in perfect condition. I have no more kidney failure. None. They just tested my kidneys. They said, you have healthy kidneys. I said, really? Isn't that interesting? My doctor was so amazed, and he was so in shock about how I had turned around all these chronic diseases, kidney failure, diabetes, MS, that he joined NeoLife. Yeah. Well, and he looks at the labs. Yeah. He looks at the labs. They don't lie. The labs don't lie. So yeah, he joined the NeoLife. It's amazing. No, they don't. So, no, and I've worked with doctors for 22 years. So, yeah, so I'm just, I feel very blessed. I think maybe part of the reason is I caught the MS pretty early, but at the same time, I will go without food before I go without NeoLife. You know what I mean? I will walk somewhere before I'll go without a car. I won't pay some bills before I go without NeoLife, because my life is very contingent on me taking this nutrition, and so I am super, super compliant. And my advice to anybody, especially anyone who has like a chronic disease like MS or anything like that, is that they really take their compliance serious. And I think you will, if you take large amounts of CalMag, like I do, and you take some pretty large amounts of salmon oil, and that's 3 in the morning. I take salmon oil, I don't take that much, but I know people who take 3 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, and 3 at night. You will find a significant increase in your neuromuscular function. Yeah. So that, and then, of course, the core nutrition. And, for 19, 20 weeks. Go ahead. I do the Pro Vitality. And during flu season, the flu is just killing everybody. When I was starting to feel like, I might be getting something, I went on 4 garlic alliums a day. I went on 2 packets of Phyto Defense every day. I went on 2 packets of Pro Vitality every day. I did the tray twice a day, and 1 shake a day. And I never got the flu, thank God. I dodged that bullet. And of course, and then I also drink antiviral tea. So that really, antiviral tea really helps ward off all that viral stuff. So, and I drink it every day because it's herbal. The antiviral tea is herbal, and so you have to drink it every day because you have to continually ingest all those antiviral herbs, all that stuff into your bloodstream. So it has to go in your bloodstream every day. Otherwise, it really doesn't work. So I'm compliant with that, but I've been compliant with that for a long time, so I never get sick with the flu or colds or anything like that. And actually, a lot of people who are on NeoLife, a lot of my downlines, I have about 21 downlines. Direct downlines. They all drink my antiviral tea now because the flu is so virulent this year and killing people left and right and making people sick for weeks and weeks and weeks. The only thing is you have to drink it every day, otherwise it just doesn't work. So anyway, but I don't. What are you on now? Okay. Sure. Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah. Mhm. Okay. Yeah. Right. Uh-huh. Right. Yeah. Okay. Oh, 10,000, yeah. I take 4 a day. I don't know what that is. 4 capsules. Yeah, 2 in the morning and 2 at night. Oh, I think I have. Let's see. Right. Let me see what I have. I don't know. I actually didn't really pay attention to that. Let's see. It's right here. I have that huge bottle of it, like $100, which is like, but yeah, it's like every time I buy vitamin E, it's $100, and I just kind of have to wince, but that's okay. This says, hold on. Well, that's another problem I have. I can't see anything without my glasses. This says, it's that big, huge bottle of vitamin E. Let's see, I'm sorry. I'm constantly losing my glasses, constantly. So I buy like 10 pairs of them at a time because I lose them constantly. And then I can't see, so I can't find them. Yeah, that's another problem. Yeah. That's all right. It's like, what does it start with? Okay. 200 soft gels. Oh, it's 200 soft gels. Water miscible. Oh, this is vitamin E. Yeah, CalMag is pink, right? Yeah, I take 6 of those. Okay. Yeah, that's what I take 6. I take 3 in the morning and 3 at night. And I noticed immediately. Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah, that's the version I'm buying. So I'm getting 2,000 a day. Yes. I see. Really? Oh my gosh. So yeah. Oh yeah, no, that doesn't work. Yeah. But now, are you taking CalMag from NeoLife, just the 3? Yeah. Oh yeah. Sure. Yeah. Okay. 7 hours apart. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, fortunately I don't have any sleep issues. And I do take. No, I know. Yeah, it sounds like it. I have no sleep issues, thank goodness. But I do take some melatonin every night. I take 10 milligrams of melatonin every night. Sometimes that works for people, sometimes it doesn't. I take for vitamin E, which is tocopherol. I take 1,100 units a day. Yeah, I take 1,100 units a day of vitamin E. Yeah, I find that vitamin E really helps my brain a lot. 1,100 units, yeah. So I take, wait a minute, let me see. What do I take? Is this per 2? Yeah, so I take 550 in the morning and 550 at night because the serving size is 2 soft gels. So if you take 2 soft gels, that's 550 units. So I take 2 soft gels in the morning and 2 soft gels at night. So that's 1,100. Yeah. What's nice about this vitamin E, it has all 8 factors of vitamin E, not just 1 or 2. And the problem with a lot of these vitamins and these amino acids and all these enzymes and stuff like that is they have a cascade effect. So if it's like a rung in the ladder, if you have, let's say, 1, 2, 3, and 4 tocopherols, and then but you don't have 5, but you have maybe number 7, that cascade is not going to work because you're missing too many rungs of the ladder. So that's the thing with amino acids and vitamins and enzymes and stuff like that. And like omega-3s, you have to have all 8 or they just don't work. So, yeah. Exactly. So, exactly. So, yeah, exactly. So, excuse me. So I make sure that I have that I take all 8 factors, and that's what's nice about NeoLife, because when you take their vitamin E, you don't have to worry about it. You're getting all 8. When you take the shake, you're getting all 22 amino acids. And 9 of those are essential. 9 of those you don't make. 9 of those you have to ingest. You just don't make it. Your body has no ability to make 9 of those essential amino acids. Same with the essential fatty acids. It's a problem, So that's so nice that NeoLife, their products are so complete, because now you don't have to worry that you're not getting all 8 factors of E. You know what I mean? Because you are. You're getting all 8. You don't have to worry about it. So, which is what I try to tell people. But anyway, are you going to the rally on Saturday? Yeah. 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 So are you wheelchair bound? Yeah. Yeah. So are you ambulatory at all? Uh-huh. Yeah. 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 Right. Yeah. Yeah. Spiral down. Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I know it well. Mhm. Uh-huh. Yeah. Right. Right. Uh-huh. No, I know. I lived in Alaska. I know Alaska well. Sure. Sure. Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah. 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 Mm. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Sure. Uh-huh. Yeah. You knew. Yeah. 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 Of course. Of course. Yeah. 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 I know. No, I know. I totally understand. Yeah. Right. Right. Well, yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. Well, no, I can see that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't eat rice because I'm a diabetic, but yeah, I put in no, no. Yeah, I don't there are certain things I just don't touch. One of them is meat cuz I don't want the MS coming back. The other thing I don't eat is I don't eat rice and I don't eat potatoes. I don't eat bananas and I will never eat corn. I will never eat commercial bread. Now, I just last night I just made some spelt bread, which is an ancient grain bread. So I made some spelt bread. So I will eat that, but I won't eat anything really any commercial bread. Now, who is it? Whole Foods, I think, has and Clark's. They have some pretty good organic. They have some pretty good organic bread that you can buy frozen. But I just, I elected to make my own bread because a couple of us went down to because up in Big Bear we have nothing. All we have is Vons and Stater Brothers. So we did like a field trip down to Clark's, which is a Seventh-day Adventist like Whole Foods down here in Southern California. So yeah, go ahead. Well, so then I bought spelt flour, and so I made my own bread. Well, the problem is most rice is bleached. I mean, I could eat brown rice, but for some reason there's not enough fiber in rice as opposed to spelt bread. Yeah. So there, when I look at a carbohydrate, and this is because I'm a diabetic, like you wouldn't have to do this, but because I'm a diabetic, I have to look at a carbohydrate, but I have to look at the fiber content. So like with carrots, I can't eat cooked carrots. I have to eat raw carrots. If I'm going to eat a carrot, it has to be raw because the fiber. I have to have like cruciferous stuff. I have to have like beans, like organic beans. Like I made falafels last night. Well, I used organic garbanzo beans because they're high in fiber. Yes, they have carbohydrates, but the fiber content is very, very high. And those are the only real carbohydrates that I can really eat. The same thing with spelt bread. When I make the spelt bread, yes, it has some carbs like rice, but it has way more fiber, way more. So I don't eat carbohydrates unless they have a very high fiber load on them. So you won't see me eat white rice. And if there's absolutely no other food except for brown rice, I'll eat brown rice. But it's only under duress. You know what I mean? I will never eat a banana. I haven't eaten a banana in years and years and years. I won't eat oranges. I can't. There's not enough fiber in oranges and in bananas to justify the carbohydrate load. I know, it's very complicated. Nutrition is incredibly complicated. Of course. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's because yeah, it is frustrating. And I used to have Crohn's disease. I don't have it anymore. But I had Crohn's disease about, I'm going to say, 12 to 14 years ago. I was having a lot of Crohn's issues, and I finally I was a nurse at Loma Linda, and I finally went in to see the GI doctor, and he automatically did a colonoscopy and says, "Oh, you have Crohn's disease." I'm like, "What?" So I was like, "You gotta be kidding me!" And it's so painful. I mean, it's just so painful. So I actually cured my Crohn's actually back then, and it wasn't with NeoLife. It was actually with kombucha. So I started making my own it's KOM like Mary, B like Barbara, UCH kombucha. Kombucha. Yeah, kombucha. And it's a very weird substance. It's like vinegar. It has to be made from a mother organism. It's actually a pseudolichen. Technically, it's a pseudolichen, and so so I started taking massive amounts of it. I didn't, Come on, Jim. It's not very tasty. You're basically drinking a vinegar-like substance, and I really didn't care for it. But Crohn's is very painful, so I started taking lots and I made it myself. Now you can buy it. 12 years ago you can buy it. Couldn't buy it. I found online someone who actually was selling the mother organism, and then I got instructions on how to make it myself, which was very weird. And so I started making myself, and then I started drinking it, by the tons. And I went back. It took about 3 or 4 months of doing that at least. And then I went back to my GI doctor, and we did another colonoscopy, and he said, "This is highly unusual, but your Crohn's is gone." I'm like, "Okay." I'm sorry, the symptoms, they started to fade slowly. It wasn't like NeoLife where like boom, the first week but it wasn't like that. No, it was gradual. It was very gradual, and I think it took somewhere between 4 and 6 months for it to be completely gone, but it did eventually go away. But then again, yeah, you drink it. I was extremely compliant. I do not drink it. So after about a year, I stopped drinking it, and I never had another problem with Crohn's. Yeah. Yeah, I don't, it worked for me, but I don't know, who knows what works, who knows what doesn't for other people. I know I am a very, very, because I'm a nurse, I'm extremely compliant individual. When I do something, I do it. And I do it, I'm very compliant. Anybody with Crohn's, I have a friend, a very close friend of mine. Her name is Kristen. She's 33 years old, and she has a lot of autoimmune diseases. One of them is Crohn's. And I talked to her about maybe going on NeoLife, and she agreed to go on the shakes. She didn't go on the probiotics because she didn't want to afford it, but because she spends enormous amounts of money on medicine that doesn't do anything for her. I'm like, okay, it's your decision. But she does take the shakes, and she says it's the only thing that makes her stomach stop hurting. Same with my daughter. the shakes and the probiotics, she goes, she has not had another GI problem again. Since I put her on the shake and the probiotics, she no longer has issues. So something your friend might want to consider is at least go on the shakes and the probiotic. It's really been successful with Crohn's. Yeah, I know. Good. That's awesome. No, really, that's awesome. So, yeah. Yeah. Sure. I agree. Yeah, and yeah, yeah, yeah. Pearson. Well, Crohn's is ileitis. It's ulcerative ileitis. That's what Crohn's is. Colitis is very close to that. It's ulcerative colitis, whereas Crohn's is ulcerative ileitis. It's just a different part of the same intestine. That's all. Yeah. So I don't know. I went through Crohn's. I got a diagnosis of Crohn's, and I took kombucha, and it took care of the Crohn's. I'm not saying that will do for her, but you know what? I wouldn't go through that pain for all the tea in China. Yeah, I am not okay with pain. I am totally not okay with pain, and I will do anything. I will do anything to resolve that. I mean, I have friends, and I for the life of me, I don't really understand, but they just don't want to go the natural route. They just want to do the chemicals, and it's very ineffective from what I can see. And as a matter of fact, just about 3 weeks ago, a friend of mine I offered NeoLife. I know his mom real well. I offered him NeoLife for what he was going through, and he said, "Oh no, I like my morphine. Thank you very much." And then he died last week. He had a massive heart attack. Yeah, he had a massive heart attack. So he chose that. I offered him an alternative. Not saying it would have helped, or not saying it wouldn't have helped, but it was at least a shot. You know what I mean? And he said, "Oh no, I want the opioids." Well, he died. He had died last week, which was a shock. He was only 40 something. So I don't. You can bring people to water. You can't make them drink. It's the truth. Yeah. So all you can do is offer it, and then adults have to make their own decisions, right? Yeah. Non-compliancy, yeah. Well, I think we all do. And then, the pain kind of reels you back in, huh? Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. That's right. Okay, I better reel myself in. Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. So, yeah. I know. Oh, good. 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 Okay. Okay. Yeah, I like the detox, and you say you're already staying home, so that's good. yeah, so you have to stay home because obviously you're detoxing. So oh yeah, you're detoxing. So yeah, you got to stay home, but you say you're home anyway. So that's good. Okay. And the other thing I might recommend, and I know this is like a tough thing because you're not really going anywhere a whole lot, but I would, because people with MS don't necessarily need cardio exercise, which is aerobic exercise. People with MS need anaerobic exercise. And there's only one way to get that, and that's to lift weights. Like running and all that other stuff, that's really nice for the cardiovascular system. But with people with MS, it doesn't really matter. What you need to do is you need to start lifting some weights. Right now I'm leg pressing 130 pounds. And I have to work up I have to work up to that, and it's not pleasant. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, like today's a leg day. If I have to go at 5 o'clock, today's a leg day. I'm not really looking forward to it because it's so painful. But I do it anyway. Well, I actually don't work today, so I'm just at home. I'm moving up to Santa Rosa in the next 30 days. So I'm just sitting home packing is what I'm doing. So I don't go back to work till Friday. So I don't go back to work till Friday. So I've got all this week to, just pack and get rid of stuff. And I lost my father in August, and he was like 94 years old. So he was just really ready to. He didn't want to live anymore. So I said, okay, fine. But so he passed away in August. But my mom's still alive. She's 88, and she's on NeoLife. And, she has no chronic, she doesn't even have high blood pressure. It's ridiculous. She's the healthiest person on it's unbelievable. I've never seen anyone like this. Yeah, she's extremely healthy. So, but she, she's alone now. And my brother lives up there, but he's an architect. And he owns his own architectural firm, and so his time is limited, So I have to move up there because she doesn't want to be alone, I don't blame her. So we're moving, we're moving up north. So I'm just packing. That's all I'm doing. It's okay. Really? So, yep, that's Santa Rosa. That's Sonoma County. So it's nice, but I'm a mountain girl. I like the mountains, but my mom really needs us to come up there. So, excuse me, we are going up there. So I'm in good shape for packing this whole week. But I definitely pray for you. And I hope some of my suggestions will help you out. Alrighty? Okay. Alrighty, you take care. Okay, you. Okay, you. Okay, you. Okay, you. Okay, you. Okay, you. Okay.